So basically my topic was the regulation of science and whether you think that science has a power that needs to be restricted so that society isn't, advancing too quickly and that science isn't oppressing citizens and causing unstable development of society. So while I write things on the board and get you guys to pass these around, I don't expect you to read all of this, just kind of take one and then pass it on. It's just two sides of the argument of whether it should or shouldn't be regulated, I suppose. So basically, in the Luisa Rey Mystery, we have the large seaboard corporation exhibiting control over various individuals, Grimaldi, Sachs, and especially Sixsmith, who is kind of, you could say, owned by the corporation. So we have the issue of corporate ownership over an individual person. Which is kind of a main factor in the entire text. If we talk about that deeper, and if you guys kind of want to talk to yourself about what you think corporate ownership means and what you think it means, and what are the implications of a company being able to have power over an individual, not the rest of society, but specifically a company and financial power having, implications towards one person's life and ultimately his death as well. So if you want to discuss that for a second.
First second question.
I just wanted to talk about whether they think it's okay for a company to have power over a person. Is it okay for you to be owned by the business you work for, to be controlled by them? No. Okay. I'm going to assume that most of you think that it's not okay, just so I can continue talking. So basically the story goes on, and we have the entire Luisa Rey Mystery being a prime example of corporocratic power, which is immoral to the development of science. So if we have science on one hand, and then we have the power of companies, we can see that Seaboard is trying to hide their scientific advancement from the rest of society because they believe it isn't safe. Well, they know it isn't safe, and society thinks that, has suspicions that it's not safe. So I'm getting really mixed up. Jesus. Yeah. So basically, the ultimate question that maybe we should just skip to discussing with you guys is whether you think scientific advancement should be regulated. I had some steps along the way, but why don't we just skip to the end? So do you think science and scientific advancement, so if we think about genetic projects and cloning, and if we link to Somni as well, creating clones and fabricant issues, do you think that science should be limited and controlled by a government power? Tristan?
Do you trust the government?
Do I trust the government?
Why do you want the government to regulate science when theoretically companies
Yeah.
could be more stable than the government's?
Are you asking my personal opinion on the topic? Because I don't think science
Well,
should
it's
be
more of a
regulated.
rhetorical question, because what I want to say is that in Somni's story, the government is corpocracy and the government is scientific based on their cloning and using that for business purposes. So you can see that the government is taking advantage of the centrally regulated system that you may have just proposed. I'm not really sure of the solution, but therefore,
That's an
I don't
interesting
think
point.
it should be regulated.
Because in the Luisa Rey Mystery, in the first and second part, society becomes the controlling power. So I probably shouldn't have used the word government specifically, because her knowing of the Seaboard expose is what causes the indictment of the government executives and Seaboard Corporation, and it's what fails the Hydra Zero project. So maybe do you think that science is a dangerous power? Should the development of scientific projects and genome issues be unlimited or restricted by some force, by society, by the government, by something? Does anyone have any ideas about that?
I think it should be restricted. I think you're right.
You think it should?
But just maybe by a more public scale.
More public scale.
Everyone has a vote on it, and votes that aren't rigged, hopefully.
That's the government, isn't it? I think I'm going to have to just end it there. Kind of didn't work, but I wanted to. Cool.